It's midday at a forward operating base, somewhere in a dusty corner of the world where the wars never quite end. The sun hangs high overhead, merciless, baking the rows of parked Black Hawk helicopters in shimmering waves of heat. You can see the air rippling off the tarmac, like a mirage in the desert. The air tastes like dust and jet fuel, that gritty, oily flavor that seeps into your pores and lingers in your mouth, no matter how much water you drink or how hard you scrub. A few mechanics shuffle between the aircraft, their uniforms dark with sweat, wiping their brows with grease-stained rags, tools clanking in their hands. It's the unseen rhythm of the base, the constant hum of maintenance that keeps these birds flying, ready for the next call to action. Without it, everything grinds to a halt. At the far end of the flight line, tucked away between two faded hangars that have seen better days, a lone woman crouches beside one of the UH-60 Blackhawks. Her movements are precise, almost mechanical, attaching the fuel hose with a click, checking the coupling not once but twice, then glancing at the gauges with a quick, practiced eye. There's no name tag on her uniform, which is clean but plain, devoid of any unit patch or rank insignia. She doesn't speak to anyone, doesn't share a joke with the crew chiefs lounging nearby, doesn't even glance up as pilots stride past, helmets under their arms. She's just there, blending seamlessly into the background, another faceless refueling tech doing her job in the relentless heat. But then, from across the tarmac, comes the sharp click of boots on concrete. It's the base commander, a tall man with salt and pepper hair, the kind of officer who carries himself with a quiet authority that doesn't need shouting or posturing. He's deep in conversation with another officer, discussing logistics or the next patrol, when suddenly he stops mid-sentence. His head tilts slightly, his brow furrows in confusion. The woman hasn't noticed him yet. She reaches to shut off the fuel pump, and as she does, she mutters something under her breath, just a few quiet words, perhaps a curse at a stubborn valve or a note to herself. But those words, they change everything. The commander's expression shifts in an instant. His lips part, his shoulders stiffen, and his eyes lock onto her, unblinking, as if he's seen a ghost rise from the grave. It isn't what she said that hits him like a punch to the gut. It's her voice, the timbre, the cadence, that low, steady tone that cuts through the noise. He takes a single step closer, his boots crunching on the loose gravel scattered across the tarmac. She turns her head just a fraction, enough for the harsh sunlight to catch her profile, a sharp cheekbone, honed by years of hard living, and a faint scar tracing the edge of her jaw, like a whisper from a blade or shrapnel long ago. She freezes for half a heartbeat when she notices him watching her, her body tensing ever so slightly. Then, as if deciding he's no threat or perhaps that acknowledging him would be the real danger, she goes back to coiling the fuel hose, her movements deliberate, unhurried, like nothing at all has happened. But for the commander, everything has happened. His mind is racing, pulled back against his will to a night that haunts his dreams, a night most people on this base have never even heard whispers about. It wasn't in any official briefing, didn't make the rounds in the mess hall stories. It was a mission with no public record, buried deep in classified files that few had clearance to touch. He remembers it all too clearly, the static crackle of a comms headset in the dead of night, the chaos of overlapping voices shouting coordinates and warnings, the desperate calls from a team pinned down behind enemy lines in the jagged mountains of Narok Valley. Gunfire echoing through the radio, explosions in the distance, the acrid smell of smoke even from miles away in the command tent. And above it all, cutting through the pandemonium like a blade through fog, was her voice. Calm, steady, deadly certain. She was the one coordinating the extraction, feeding intel, keeping the panic at bay. Hold position, she'd said. Bird incoming in 5. Stay low. Her words had saved lives that night, including his own teams. But the mission had gone south fast. Ambush. Bad intel. The valley turned into a kill zone. She was out there, on the ground, not safe in some ops center. Last transmission, her voice, still calm but strained, reporting incoming fire. Then silence. No body recovered. Officially, she was gone, killed in action. He'd attended the memorial service stateside, stood rigid in formation as her name was read aloud in that solemn roll call. He'd watched a folded American flag handed to a man introduced as her brother, his face stoic but eyes hollow. That was 8 years ago. 8 long years of carrying that weight, the what-ifs and the regrets. Yet here she is, the woman in front of him, refueling a helicopter as if it's the only thing she's ever done, as if the past never happened. The commander's throat tightens, a knot forming that he can't swallow down. He takes another step forward, his shadow stretching long across the tarmac, falling over her boots. She finally straightens up, the fuel hose coiled neatly in her hand, and looks up at him. Her eyes are a startling pale gray, like storm clouds gathering over a barren plain, the kind of color you only notice if you're close enough to feel the chill emanating from them, a gaze that pierces right through you. "Ma'am," he manages to say, though his voice catches on the word, rough and uncertain. Where did you serve before this?" She tilts her head slightly, a faint smile tugging at one corner of her mouth. It's not warm, not friendly, it's the smile of someone who knows more than they're letting on, a predator assessing prey. "Here and there," she replies simply. Her voice is the same as he remembers, low, unhurried, as if she has all the time in the world, no rush, no fear. The commander's pulse thuds in his ears, loud enough to drown out the distant hum of engines. "Your name," he presses, his voice steadier now, though his heart races. The woman coils the last loop of the hose, sets it neatly in its place on the cart, and finally meets his gaze fully, those pale eyes locking onto his without a flicker of emotion. "You can call me the refueler," she says. And then, as if the conversation never happened, as if he's just another shadow on the tarmac, she steps past him. Her boots crunch over the gravel, steady and purposeful, and she disappears into the dim shadows of the hangar, swallowed by the darkness within. The other officer, who's been standing nearby, looks between them, confusion etched on his face. "Sir, do you know her?" The commander doesn't answer right away. He's still staring at the hangar door where she vanished, replaying her voice in his mind, over and over, like a loop he can't escape. "Yes," he says finally, though his voice is quieter now, almost a whisper to himself. "I thought I did, but she's not supposed to be here." The officer frowns, shifting uncomfortably. "What do you mean?" The commander's eyes narrow, his jaw set. "I mean, she died 8 years ago." The words hang in the air, heavy as the heat. The officer opens his mouth to ask more, but the commander turns away, striding back across the tarmac, his mind a whirlwind. Questions swarm like flies. How? Why? Is it really her, or some cruel trick of memory, heat stroke playing games with his head? He shakes it off, but the doubt lingers, gnawing at the edges of his thoughts. That night, long after the base has gone quiet, after the last helicopter blades have whirred to a stop, after the night watch has settled into its slow, watchful rhythm, the commander sits alone in his office. The desk lamp casts a pool of yellow light over the scattered folders in front of him, but he isn't reading them. He's listening to the echo of her voice in his head, that calm certainty from Narok Valley replaying like a ghost in the machine. It had been 8 years since that mission, 8 years since the rescue operation that had gone wrong before it even began. She'd been the linchpin, the unseen operator embedded deep, feeding real-time intel from a perch high in the rocks. Her calls had been flawless at first: positions, enemy movements, escape routes. But then the ambush hit. Rockets lighting up the night, gunfire from all sides. Her last words: "They're closing in." Get the team out. I'll hold. Then nothing. Radio silence. Search teams found only blood and spent casings. No body. Declared dead. He rubs his eyes, the fatigue setting in, but sleep won't come. Instead, he pulls up old files on his secure terminal, the ones marked for his eyes only. Reports from NEREC, redacted lines, vague summaries. Asset compromised. No recovery. But now, doubt creeps in. Was the death faked? For what purpose? Deep cover? A new identity for a Black Ops program? He'd heard rumors over the years, shade protocol, they called it. Operatives who vanished into the ether, resurfacing only when needed, ghosts in the machine of war. Was she one of them? And if so, why here, why now, on his base? The next morning, the sun rises hot and unforgiving, the base stirring to life with the clatter of mess trays and engine checks. The commander heads straight to the flight line, his steps purposeful. He scans the area, but she's not there. The refueling cart sits idle, hose neatly coiled. He questions the crew chiefs casually at first. That woman yesterday, the one with the scar. New hire? They exchange glances, shrug. What woman, sir? We've got the usual team. No new faces. He presses harder. Plain uniform, gray eyes. Refueling the UH-60 at the end. Blank stares. Sorry, sir. Must have been a temp or something. Didn't see her. Frustration builds. He checks the duty logs in the ops center, nothing. No record of a transfer, no sign-in for a refueler matching her description. It's as if she was never there. But he knows better. He returns to the Blackhawk, examines the fuel port. There, etched faintly into the metal, a tiny mark, like a deliberate scratch. A code? A signature? His fingers trace it, and a chill runs down his spine despite the heat. Days turn into weeks. The commander becomes obsessed, quietly, without alerting anyone. He pores over surveillance footage late at night, frame by frame. There she is, a blurry figure in the background, but the cameras glitch right as she approaches the hangar, static, then clear again, like interference. He reaches out to old contacts, whispers in encrypted channels. Narek Valley survivor? Thought dead. Responses are cagey, don't dig. Shade protocol. One contact, an old spook from Langley, meets him off base in a dusty cafe. She was good, the man says, sipping coffee. Too good. Faked her death to go deeper. But if she's back, it means trouble. Something big brewing. Flashbacks haunt him now, more details surfacing from that night in Narek. The team he led, scrambling down a ravine under fire, her voice guiding them, left flank clear. Move now. They made it out because of her. But what if she survived? Captured? Turned? Or worse, reprogrammed for a new agenda. He starts noticing anomalies on base, a misplaced tool, a file accessed without authorization, whispers among the ranks about ghost sightings. Is she watching him? Or is he paranoid? One evening, as dusk falls and the base lights flicker on, he spots a shadow near the hangars. Heart pounding, he follows, slipping into the dim interior. Tools hang silent, aircraft looming like sleeping giants. I know it's you, he calls softly. No answer. But then, a rustle. He turns, and there she is, stepping from the darkness, those pale gray eyes gleaming in the low light. Commander, she says, voice steady. You should have let it go. He demands answers. Narek. You died. Why fake it? She smiles faintly, that cold curve. Not fake. Necessary. Shade Protocol pulled me out, rebuilt me. New mission. She steps closer. The valley wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Enemies within, Commander. Trust no one. Before he can respond, an alarm blares, intrusion alert. She vanishes again, melting into shadows. The base erupts in chaos, a sabotage attempt thwarted, intel leak plugged. Was it her? Or did she warn him? He never sees her again, but the mystery lingers. Late nights, he hears her voice on the wind, calm through the static, hold position. Stay low. Narek Valley's ghost, alive, watching. And the war goes on, secrets buried deeper than ever.